Instead of slipping off into obscurity so we can all forget about her, Michelle Obama still appears to be obsessed with maintaining the spotlight she soaked up for 8 years too long. She seems to be enjoying the life of luxury her husband's presidency afforded her more than other former first ladies, as she travels around the globe with a massive security entourage and team of people to cater to her every need like a queen. Michelle took a break from vacationing recently for just long enough to try to reclaim her coveted role from Melania Trump when it blew up in her face. It's been hard for the Obamas to relinquish their roles to the Trumps since the second they took office. The reality that they are no longer in charge is hard for them to accept, so they are doing everything they can to maintain those positions in any way they can, while assuming that Americans are desperate to have them back. Perhaps the hardest part for Michelle is that she's not getting the opportunity to host a number of events for rappers and sports stars she tried to assimilate with while in the White House. However, that hasn't stopped her from forcing her way onto the scene. Rather than our current and very graceful First Lady being given the honor of presenting anything at this year's Aspire Awards from the ESPN network, as was routine for her predecessor to do, Michelle bullied her way back on stage to get the spot seemingly so Melania wasn't given it. Taking over as First Lady for this event, since this awards show has now made a habit out of politicizing it to cater to the left, Michelle spoke on stage to the crowd in attendance and those watching from home. She thought that her words and presence would be well received. It turned out to be a huge mistake for the network just 1 year after polarizing much of the country with giving the honor of the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage to transgender star Caitlyn Jenner. While the sports stars and guests in the room gave Michelle a warm greeting, the rest of the country was far less impressed, which was reflected in the massive decline in ratings. The only thing worse for the network than giving a Courage Award to a man who transitioned into a woman and not a real American hero, was to have someone as disliked and self-entitled as Michelle Obama present on stage this year. TV ratings for Wednesday are in, and the numbers show that ESPN's Aspire Awards broadcast fell for the second year in a row. The awards show, which this year featured former First Lady Michelle Obama as an award presenter, fell over last year's numbers, Variety magazine reported Thursday. The Wednesday broadcast drew a 1.4 rating with 5.3 million viewers, the Hollywood-based magazine said. But that was down from last year's 1.7 and 5.6 million viewers. In addition, both last year and this year earned lower viewership compared to the 2015 broadcast, which drew a 2.2 rating with 7.7 million viewers. The 2015 award show featured Caitlyn Jenner's acceptance of the Arthur Ashe Courage Award. ESPN likely hoped that the announcement that former First Lady Michelle Obama was tapped to present the Arthur Ashe Courage Award might lead to higher ratings this year. The former First Lady presented the award to Special Olympics founder Eunice Kennedy Shriver. The nearly 40-year-old cable sports network has been battling the perception that it leans too far to the left, but the inclusion of Obama on the show didn't seem to help knock back that perception in the least. ESPN has already suffered a huge loss to their viewership after they decided to mix their liberal politics with sports. They didn't learn that people don't want a part of that divisiveness and just prefer their athletics without politics. The network had the opportunity to repair their ratings by either giving the opportunity to Melania or leaving all political people out of it, but decided to make matters much worse for themselves instead. Now their ratings are in the tank, worse than ever before, since they refuse to acknowledge that Michelle seems to have this effect on things.